According to TikTok and the Democrats, in less than 72 hours, all hell is going to break loose here in the United States of America because November 1st, SNAP is not being renewed. Not the right word, but that's one we're going to go with right now. For the 13th time, I want to share with you guys that for the 13th time, Democrats have voted to keep the government closed once again. And there's a list of the no votes for when Democrats eventually wrongly blame Republicans for the shutdown. And this whole list of Democrats that voted no to reopen the government, okay, which will in turn mean no SNAP benefits on November 1st for people. And although there are a ton of Democrats, you've got Cory Booker, you have all these different people. You have Sanders, you have Schiff, you have Schumer, you have obviously Warnock, you have Warren, all of them. You also have a Republican. You have Rand Paul on here voting to keep the government shut down. Think of that what you will. Now, what's interesting to me is that not only do you have all of these Democrats in all of these states voting to keep the government shut down and effectively make it so that people in their states will not get their SNAP benefits on November 1st, but I still am paying attention to the politics going on in Georgia, not just here in Florida. And Brian Kemp, he's the governor in Georgia. He says that they will not be helping people in Georgia. The federal government says a supplemental nutritional assistance program, SNAP obviously, will run out of money on November 1st. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp says there's nothing the state can do, despite the fact that there is a $14.6 billion surplus in Georgia. The leaders say they can't bail out SNAP. So, I mean, there's just like a random picture of people trying to get groceries and whatnot. But when you have a surplus that can easily cover what is needed for SNAP in your state and you don't, how do people feel about that? Just out of curiosity, because there's going to be a lot of states that are going to go, well, we can't do anything about it. Now, another thing that I have noticed a lot of people talking about this next month, be very careful when you go grocery shopping. Some people have said publicly that they are preparing to steal food if funds aren't released via SNAP. Watch your back and surroundings, and men do the shopping. Don't let your wife go by herself unless she's like me and believes in 2A. Pow, pow. Then, whatever. But this is a legit worry for a lot of people. You have a lot of people who somehow have plenty of time to make a ton of TikToks, yet no time to go get a job on TikTok, screaming about how they haven't eaten in 4 or 5 days and they can't feed their 17 kids and whatever else. And no, they're not going to get a job. They need the government to open back up so they can feed you. And my first thought is, didn't y'all just go to a No Kings protest and here you are acting like Donald Trump is the king and therefore needs to feed you? It's very hypocritical there, if you ask me. But there have been calls for violence starting November 1st. If SNAP benefits are not released, people have said that they will have no problem going in and stealing. They will rob people. They will take what they need to take. And I'm like, number one, why are you putting that out on the internet like that, honey boo boo? Because anybody can see it. So just keep those parts in mind. But it is a legit worry for a lot of people that there is the possibility that you could be out and about doing your own thing, going to get groceries to feed your family, and somebody can come up to you and try to harm you or steal your stuff. So I would say definitely be cognizant of that. Now, this is just for anybody out there who happens to work for the government, who has been affected by this government shutdown, because I know people not getting paychecks. Your rent is due, your mortgage is due, your car payment's due, insurance, credit cards, all these different things. And I was talking to my husband about it. I'm like, what sucks here is that a lot of people are having to resort to using their credit cards at this time because they don't have the paychecks coming in. So they're having to resort to using credit cards. And thankfully, a lot of people have that ability. Not everybody, obviously, and it really does suck for them. But those who have the ability to use their credit cards, the downside here is that now you're going to have to pay interest on the things that you're purchasing, whereas before, if you were just going to use your bank account, there's no interest there. But now if you're using your credit cards, unless you have a 0% interest credit card, you have to pay interest. If you don't get money in time, you're going to have to pay late fees or over limit fees or whatever fees may go along with that as well. People have been dipping into their savings and their emergency funds over the past couple weeks since the government has been shut down. And I know it's affecting a lot of people. I happen to have Chase, and when I logged into my app, I noticed that they have this up there at the top of it, and it said, affected by the government shutdown, we may be able to help, see details. And so I was curious what it was, so I took a little screenshot of what it said. And this is just for everybody out there. Whether it's Chase or not, I'm sure a lot of credit cards and companies in general are willing to help people who do rely on government paychecks right now. But it says, we're here to help if you're affected by the government shutdown. We know this may be a stressful time for many of our customers impacted by the shutdown of the federal government. We may be able to help. Now, notice they do say we may be able to help. Not we will, but we may. We may be able to help if you're concerned about making your Chase mortgage, credit card, auto, or business loan payment. I mean, it's not just credit card. It's the big ones too, right? Your mortgage and stuff. And then it talks about if you have questions, you can call them. And then they talk about how don't get unsolicited calls and texts from like random things. So you have to be very careful, especially right now. Because I would say, honestly, be careful right now, no matter who you are, because with everything that's going on, you're going to notice a lot more spam calls and toll-free numbers and robocalls and all these other things and these weird text messages and emails that are going to try to convince you that they are there to help, and there could just be people out there trying to rob you blind or whatever else. So be very careful during this time frame. Now, we're going to keep going with this whole stuff because there's a lot that I found that I wanted to share with you guys. Let me make sure I've got the right stuff here because there's a lot going on. These are the Dems that voted against the clean CR 13 times. All right, these are the pictures. So in the blue, obviously the Democrats that voted no, and then in the red you have the ones that voted yes. Like literally you have one red that voted no, but you have two blues that voted yes. You have Fetterman, and I don't remember that lady's name, and I know I should, but I don't, I'm sorry. And then you have an independent that voted yes. But it takes 60 votes. There's not 60 Republicans that can vote to keep things open, and senators. So when you have at least two Democrats who are like, listen, we care more about the American people than we do about, you know, the party name, I do think that that's a plus, that they actually care. But when you have Rand Paul, who for some reason decides to throw his name in with the Democrats, I'm like, bro, that's skeezy right there. Okay, but Chuck Schumer, this is what I need y'all to pay attention to. Chuck Schumer posted this up earlier today, and he said Donald Trump is manufacturing a hunger crisis. All right. SNAP benefits are about to run out for 42 million Americans. Are they though? And Donald Trump has ordered the USDA to not use about $6 billion in emergency reserves to keep SNAP funded. No explanation, just cruelty. Donald Trump is picking politics over the lives of hungry kids. Now, I need everybody to understand, and I know y'all know this because you're smart. For some reason, Democrats are not. They are the ones who continuously vote no. You can't tell me this is a Republican issue when the Democrats are the ones who continuously vote no. If the Democrats really gave half a shit about the people that are going to be affected on November 1st about SNAP, they would vote yes. But the reason they're voting no is because they want that $1.5 trillion, I believe, to go towards illegal immigrants and health care and funding for them. Why? Explain to me why holding out the government shutdown for illegal immigrants is more important to Democrats than reopening the government so that the American citizens who are in need can get the help that they need. They are literally showing you with every single vote no that they care more about illegal immigrants than American citizens. That is the shittiest type of person you can possibly be. People keep voting for them. I have no idea how this works, but this is what I want people to remember. All right, this is what you need to remember. 60 yes votes are required to reopen the government with a clean CR. And you can see right down here, 53 Republicans voted yes. A Democrat voted yes. Technically it was 2. And then an independent voted yes, which totals technically 56, which is still not enough to open the government back up, because you need some of those Democrats to pull their head out from as far up their ass as they have it to vote yes for the American people. and yet they refuse to. I don't know if it's because they have no balls. I don't know if it's because they are the party of bandwagoners. I'm not quite sure why they refuse to do what's right for the country that they say they give a shit about, and for the American citizens within the country that they're supposed to give a shit about, but they refuse to do so, except for John Fetterman and the woman, and I don't know her name, and again, I feel awful that I don't know her name. I know y'all do. If one of you will put it in the comment section, I'll love you forever. I'm gonna love you forever anyway. But if you'll put it in there, I would really appreciate it. But then let's not forget Catherine Clark. I'm sure you've heard the name Catherine Clark a lot the last couple of days because she decided to speak while her head was so far up her ass. She says, of course there will be families that are going to suffer, but as one of the few leverage times we have. Democrat. Why would you, number one, say that quiet part out loud, ma'am? And number two, think like that. Why are you using American citizens as leverage for illegal immigrants? Make that shit make sense. Because to me, an American citizen, it does not. That's just me though. Other people may be like, no, I totally understand. But those other people are retarded. So there's that. This is so incredibly true. So incredibly true. Democrats then versus now. When JFK was in office, people loved him. And yes, he was a Democrat, but people loved him. And he says, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country, right? But then, is that what he said? For some reason, I thought that was somebody else, not him, but I'm pretty sure it was him. But then now you have the AOCs of the Democrats just screaming for free stuff. They want free everything. Zohran Mamdani, that's why they have her screaming this, because she is there pushing for socialism in New York City, because free stuff, I mean, I guess it just comes out of nowhere and it's forever able to be had and nobody pays for it. Anyway, just so much going on right now that is absolutely mind-boggling to me. You even have Jake Tapper. Y'all, when you have Jake Tapper on CNN calling out Democrats for being absolutely horrific, that in and of itself should say something to you. Plus that Abby Phillips, is that her name? Abby Phillips, who is on CNN with Scott Jennings. Even she is like, listen, Democrats, y'all are fucking up. Like, what are you doing here, right? But this is Jake Tapper. He said, this is a choice by Senate Democrats not vote to open the government. And then you have Representative Melanie Stansbury. She go, no, it's not. And he goes, yes, it is. When even Jake Tapper is calling out your lies, the narrative is collapsing fast. And this was on CNN. Like, here's the problem. Or the plus, the perk, depending on how you look at this. Here's the problem for the Democrats. I lost an earring. Here's the problem. That's why, I mean, they're cheap. They're like $5. Here's the problem for the Democrats. They are showing daily that they do not care about the American people. Their constituents who are on SNAP, who rely on SNAP benefits, they're going to be pissed off thinking it's President Trump's fault, right? They're going to continue to think it's President Trump's fault, especially if all they're watching is CNN and MSNBC and stuff like that. Except for now you even have the talking heads on CNN and on MSNBC speaking out against the Democrats. So the people who they have been trying to brainwash, who they've been lying to blatantly, Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders consistently lying to through social media posts on X or at whatever little stand-up little rally things that they do. You now have the people that they are trying to convince that Trump is awful and that it's his fault this is all happening. You have them hearing truth from other Democrats now. No, it's not Trump's fault. It's Democrats' fault for not opening. This is a choice by Senate Democrats to not vote to open the government. Jake Tapper, CNN. They're going to see that and they're going to go, oh, wait. And they're going to hear it enough times that they're going to realize that the Democrats are fucking them over for their own benefits. I don't know what benefit that is. I do not understand what benefit they get by trying to, do everything for illegal immigrants, especially when, in like California, you have the petition to get the voter ID passed so that you have to have a legit ID in order to vote. Although we do know that California is giving fake IDs to CDL drivers. We've seen the accidents that have happened, the non-English speaking truck drivers out there. So I don't even know how that's going to work. I have to assume that they're hoping that if they can keep helping these illegal immigrants, that they're going to somehow get votes. But Schumer, you're like half a foot into the grave. You're old as fuck, dude. Like, you're not going to get voted into anything again. It's not how it works. Same thing with Warren. Nobody's going to vote for that woman for anything again. Why are they doing this to the American people? That's all I need to know. Is it strictly because their TDS is so over the top that they have left the realm of decency, morals, ethics, any of it, and this is just who they are now? These walking pieces of shit that do not care about the American citizens or our country? It feels like I just answered it. Yeah, I feel like that's the answer. But wait, there's more. Where's this one? So then you even have Hakeem Jeffries, because, oh, blessed, what do they call him? Timo Obama. Guys, y'all, speaking of Timo Obama, we're going to get to Hakeem Jeffries in a second. My husband and I decided to watch this new movie. And it's on, oh, don't get mad at me. It was on Netflix, because we technically still have Netflix for 2 more days. And it was on there. And I thought it was going to be a good movie about government and whatever else. And it's called, oh, what's it called? It's got Idris Elba and the chick from Mission Impossible who played, I don't even remember her name. She was like the love interest of Tom Cruise. And it's got the Hispanic dude that was in Hamilton and Twisters. What is it called? It starts with a D. That's not helpful. But it's about a missile launch. A missile that's launched at like Chicago or whatever, and it goes through all these different scenarios. And I'm just going to tell you right now, if you have Netflix, do not waste your time. It's absolutely awful. But there's this part inside the movie where they have Idris Elba playing the president. He's supposed to be like a knockoff Obama or whatever, and they have him go to a WNBA whatever with Angel Reese in there, and there are so many jabs in this movie at Trump without ever saying Trump, and Republicans without ever saying Republicans, and basically Caitlin Clark without ever saying Caitlin Clark. It was the shittiest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, Netflix, this is why everybody is canceling. Not just because of your pedophilia push, but because of these woke ass, stupid ass movies. Because it was a Netflix original. So we were like, oh, we got to see what this is like, so I can tell you guys about it. We only have it for 24 or 48 more hours, and then thank goodness it's gone. But it was, I expected it to be something decent, worth watching, given what the context of the movie was. Absolute horse shit. I cannot remember the name of it. Whatever, y'all aren't gonna watch anyway, so that's good. I'm just letting you know, don't do it. Okay, Hakeem Jeffries says, Republicans are using the government shutdown to illegally rip SNAP benefits away from 42 million Americans. 16 million children are at risk of going hungry. The extremists don't give a damn. You deserve better. To which Gunther Eagleman, who I happen to love over on X, says, you are dumb as fuck. The Senate keeps voting to keep the government shut down, dipshit. Your gaslighting is making you look stupid. Which is very true. So not only do you have Hakeem Jeffries, but wait, once again, there's more. Let's go ahead and pull out Elizabeth Warren over here for whatever. She says, thanks to Trump, 42 million Americans will miss out on food assistance funds starting November 1st, which although it's not thanks to Trump, but they have to say it this way because their base is retarded and they're going to believe them. It says Congress has already passed a law. Now listen, Congress has already passed a law that SNAP benefits should not be interrupted. Should not. Please understand the wording. They passed a law they should not. Not that they cannot or will not, but should not. Words matter. The money is there. Donald Trump is trying to use hungry kids and veterans for political leverage. Guess whose job it's not to, guess who can't open the government back up? Donald Trump. Yet they keep saying his name because they have nothing else to say. It is not up to him to open up the government. It is up to the Democrats that keep voting no. It is up to Elizabeth Warren. It is up to Hakeem Jeffries. It is up to Bernie Sanders. It is up to AOC. It is up to all of them to vote. Not Donald Trump. It is not up to him. And yet these people. Anyway, so then I was curious. I was like, all right, well, let's do a little bit of looky here. So I looked up numbers. And I looked up, I said, what law was passed saying SNAP benefits shouldn't be touched during government shutdown? All right, so there's the Food and Nutrition Act of 2008, in case y'all don't know, which I'm sure a lot of you already know. but is key law that ensures SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, benefits continue uninterrupted during government shutdowns as long as funding is available through mechanisms like the program's contingency reserve. Okay? As long as it's available through the program's contingency reserve. There's all these loopholes that for some reason Elizabeth Warren and all them don't really need to feel the need to bring up. They just want to give you information that doesn't give you actual information. This act, also known as Public Law 110-246, reauthorized and reformed the SNAP program, which used to be the food stamps program. It requires the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the USDA, which everybody's dragging right now, to maintain a contingency reserve fund, typically around $3 billion annually from appropriations, to cover benefit shortfalls, including those from lapses in federal funding like shutdowns. And then there's a Section 16A of the Act that mandates that the USDA use all available resources to deliver full benefits to eligible participants without reductions unless funds are truly exhausted. Without reductions. Now, here's what you need to understand. Right now, in order to send out SNAP benefits to every single person that's supposed to receive SNAP benefits, or that does receive, not supposed to, because a lot of them aren't supposed to, that do receive SNAP benefits, you would need over $9 billion. Right now, if I can find my other notes, hold on, I have other notes. Right now, the reserve has, where'd it go? Hold on, don't go anywhere. The reserve has, where is it? From what I saw, it's only $6 billion. There's not enough in there to give everybody their SNAP benefits. And it specifically says in the law, without reductions. So they cannot give everybody SNAP benefits. Therefore, they cannot send out SNAP benefits on November 1st. I mean, it seems pretty self-explanatory if you ask me. On top of that, let me get to my other notes here because I need these to come back. Here we are, because we're missing something here. And I don't want to give you not all the information. Where are you? Please hold. SNAP benefits, that. Wait, there's more. I had more notes here. Oh, and then it talks about here. Okay. As of October 2025, there's ongoing legal dispute over using the reserve for fiscal year 2026 benefits amid the current shutdown, with states suing the USDA to enforce the Act's requirements. So then I was like, okay, what is fiscal year 2026? Just so we're all fully aware. And it's October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026. They want to go ahead and use the entire year's fiscal reserves to try to pay SNAP benefits right now because the Democrats refuse to reopen the government. But there's not enough money in that reserve yet to send out non-reduced SNAP benefits to every person that they've been sending them to. So therefore, legally, they cannot do it. I just thought it was interesting that they don't bother to tell you all that kind of stuff. And then the other thing that I had here, which, where is it? According to this, citizens dominate the SNAP benefits, 86%. According to an article that came out on PolitiFact. So you got a grain of salt there, which is being kids, elderly, and disabled. But non-citizens share, it says 4 to 5%. That only leaves you at 91%. So I'm trying to figure out where everybody else is. Like, where are all these other numbers of people that are getting SNAP benefits? We already know, if you look at a lot of stuff that's come out, they're talking about how a lot of the people that are receiving SNAP benefits happen to be refugees or immigrants, whether they have some sort of legality or not. It's not, generally speaking, American citizens that are receiving these SNAP benefits. So a lot of people are having a lot of issue with that kind of thing. At the end of the day, if the Democrats do not vote to open the government back up, their people are going to be hurt. I mean, Republican people are going to be hurt too. People who rely on SNAP, legitimately rely on SNAP, are going to be hurting starting November 1st. And as much as the Democrats want to sit there and point at Donald Trump, he's not the one voting no. The Democrats are the one voting no. Every single time a clean CR bill is put in front of them, they vote no. Every single time. Except for John Fetterman and that brown-haired lady that I don't know her name. Those two give a shit about the American citizens. So I'm thankful for that at least. But listen, it is going to get gnarly in a couple days if something does not change, if something does not go right. I don't know what it's going to be, but something definitely needs to happen in order for the people to not be up a creek without a paddle, kind of thing. I would love to know your thoughts on everything that's going on. Are you relying on SNAP like yourself? Do you know anybody that is? I saw a video of a teacher, a school teacher, and I'm going to sound like an asshole when I say this. She was pushing a good 500 pounds, and she's sitting at this table talking about how without SNAP benefits that she'll go hungry, and so will her kids. And I'm like, probably not. But she was saying how, as a teacher, she only gets paid once a month, and after she's paid all her bills and spent everything, by the end of the month, she doesn't have enough money to go buy stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't feel bad for you if I don't know what your bills are. If it's because you are spending $50 a day to go through a McDonald's drive-thru, I don't feel bad for you. If it's because you are living way beyond your means, I don't feel bad for you. Like, there's certain situations where people are claiming victimhood, where they have done it to themselves, and you are not a victim. You are just somebody who wants something given to you for free, Democrats generally speaking. I don't feel bad for her at all. That's me. And maybe that's, my lack of empathy some days, but there's too many people out there right now relying on the not a king to act like a king and step in and just hand them all this free shit. Either way, y'all, for right now, that's all. I love y'all immensely. Oh, reminder, it is October 29th. You have until December 7th, Medicare. I love y'all. It's the only reason why I'm going to beat you over the head with this every single time. Call Chapter. I like Chapter. Y'all call whoever you want to. I suggest Chapter because I've had a lot of people who have had very good customer service results, all these different things with them. They are there to help you figure out if the plan that you are on is the correct one for you, number one. If there are better options for you, whether it's the doctor you see, the prescription plan you have, any of this stuff, call them. You can call Medicare if you want. You can call your own broker if you haven't, but call somebody, please, before December 7th, because so many things are changing January 1st, and I just don't want y'all to get screwed. Again, I don't care who you call. I trust Chapter. A lot of other people trust Chapter. Dave Ramsey talks about them. Charlie Kirk talked about them previously, which, I don't know how y'all are doing with the whole Charlie Kirk thing. It's like, ugh. Either way, Chapter phone number is 513-898-3528. For those of you who would like to give them a call, if not, no harm, no foul. But if you're on Medicare, call somebody, please. Okay, that is all. I love y'all immensely. I'll see you later. Okay, bye.